they will give you an answer which is not an answer, like Zakar Naik. Zakar Naik, they ask him the question. A Muslim, he asked him a question. You know those funny program TV, which nobody is asking the question anyway. I think they fabricate the question and make a program about the question. So here in this video, Zakr and Yuka, they ask him about destiny. And Zakar Naik, he will give you the answer.
Everything is destined by Allah, and if I commit any sin, then who is to blame? If I am destined to commit a murder, and then I commit a murder, but naturally I will not be responsible for it. It is Allah who has destined it. Therefore, He will be responsible. Then why should I be punished for this?
As far as the question of this qadr is concerned, it's a common question asked by Muslims as well as non-Muslim about the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's difficult to understand. I'd like to give an example for people to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ilm ghaib, has knowledge of the unseen.
As the word he said in Arabic, I will never understand what he said in the coming 10th century. I have no idea what he just said. Supposedly he's saying an Arabic word now.
He has knowledge of the future. I'll give you an example that if in a classroom there is a teacher who teaches the students, after 1 year has passed, before the examination, the teacher predicts that this child, he will come first class first. This child, he'll get a second class. This child, C, he will fail. And once the examination takes place, and when the results are out, student A gets the first class first, student B, he gets a second class, student C, he fails. Now the question I would like to ask is that just because the teacher predicted that the student C would fail, can the student C blame the teacher saying that because the teacher predicted that I will fail, I have failed? But natural answer is no. The teacher predicted the student A will get a first class first because he knew that the student was studious and he was intelligent. Student B, he was an average student. Student C, he used to play hooky, he used to bunk school. He never used to study, never used to do the homework. So based on that, the teacher predicted that student C would fail. But student C cannot blame the teacher because the teacher predicted I will fail, therefore I failed. The student himself is responsible. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ilm ghaib. For example, when a human being comes at a crossroad, there are 5 roads from which he can choose. Road 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has the free will, he can choose any. He chooses road 3. And that's already mentioned in the destiny that he will choose road 3. It is not because Allah has mentioned he will choose road 3 that he has chosen road 3. It is.
See how they lie? And this is what we will do today. We will get them busted. He claimed that, well, Allah, he knew what he will choose, so he wrote it there. But that will not be destiny. That will not be destiny. Destiny is something totally different. Destiny, it's you decide for somebody. I mean, the word destiny itself is clear. So, especially in Arabic, you know, قدر الشيء, which mean he measured it. And now we will play for you other Muslim. And you will see the other Muslim, he will say the opposite. Are we talking about the same religion? Or we have different religion? Let us see. This is not about knowing which Allah predicting here. What a bunch of liars.
In his question, if all is predestined, why do anything? Very short question that requires a lecture. Predestiny is one of the 6 pillars of Iman, of faith, that no Muslim can be a Muslim without believing in them. So the last 6th pillar of it all is to believe in predestiny, to believe in what Allah had ordained.
Did you hear the word ordained? People, did you hear the word ordained? What ordained mean? So do you see how Muhammad, Zakr and Yuka say something, and Muhammad Asim al-Hakeem say the opposite? Every one of them depend he speak to who. If one is teaching about Islam, he will say it as it is. If one is teaching or let's say trying to refute argument, he fabricate answers. Muslims, they try to lie always in order to win the argument. When you say ordained, it's mean it's already written for you to do it. This is not about God knowing. And just to make it more clear, this is Mufti Menk.
So you have to come onto earth. The fact that Allah knows it and the fact that Allah has written it does not make you a person who should now give up, because if that was the case, then obviously you would be the fool.
Well, listen carefully how he will contradict himself in 2 seconds. He said you should not give up. But the Quran and the Hadith saying nobody can change the destiny of Allah. Give up in what?
A man came at the time.
Now listen carefully. He just said you should not give up. Did he just say you should not give up? Even if it's predestiny? A man, he came to the caliphate. And what happened here? What happened to this man?
A man came at the time of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. According to one of the narrations, he needed to be punished because he stole. So he comes to Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu and he uses the same line. He says, "Oh Umar, oh Amirul Mu'mineen, how can you punish me for having stolen when it was predestined? My deeds were already written by Allah."
So now do we understand what the predestined mean? The Sheikh, by the way, here he agree. The guy is asking, he's a Muslim, he's asking the caliphate, who is the leader of the gang, why am I going to be punished if Allah made me a thief? Because we believe in the predestiny. Allah decide who will be a thief, who will be a rapist, who will be you know, whatever. So why, I mean, what is the point of punishing me if I did not even choose to be or not to be? And you will see here, Mufti Menk, he agree. He says this is a good argument if you think about it.
Stolen when it was predestined, my deeds were already written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now that's quite a good argument if you were to look at it.
See, this is a quite good argument if you want to look at it. He didn't say this is a false argument. Do you understand? If this is a wrong understanding, he will say, well, this is a false argument if you want to look at it. No, he did not say it's false. He says, this is a good argument if you want to look at it. Good argument. And now what will happen? So as long as it's a good argument, still the question is valid. Why I will be punished for a sin I did not choose to do?
Written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now that's quite a good argument if you were to look at it. Stolen when it was predestined, my deeds were already written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now that's quite a good argument if you were to look at it. Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu was one ahead of this man. He says, well, let's punish this man because it was predestined that we were going to punish him as well.
See, even the answer of Umar, which is not fair, it's a predestiny from Allah. So the whole conversation there, supposedly, it is a destiny. Allah decide, like now I'm talking, Allah told me or forced me to say what I'm saying. This is Islam. So the guy, he have a good argument saying, why for the sake of the shin of Allah, I will be punished if it's a destiny. The caliphate supposedly he is outsmarting him. He says, you know what? It's predestiny for me to punish you. So either way, it's a predestiny. The thief, what he did by stealing, he is predestined to be a thief. The caliphate, he predestined to punish him. Nothing in the earth here happened according to Muslims, except it's a predestiny. What about choosing faith? Are you a Muslim because you choose faith according to Islam? No. Are you Christian because you choose faith according to Islam? No. Or atheist or whatever. It's a predestiny. And we will have tons of proofs about that. I will open my Skype in case there is some Muhammadan would like to join us. And you will see how the Muslim right away they start fabricate answers based on Allah knows. This is not about Allah knows. Allah is not a news station. Otherwise you are using the word destiny wrong. If you are a Muslim, you would like to join us, feel free.